I mean, who knows? I wish this guy would get off the stage already, for goodness sakes. His 15 minutes of fame is dragging out far too long. You know, he's got a rapacious past, and I don't know what in the world we're going to hear from him, but it seems that he can never get out of center stage. He needs to go away so we can do the real things we need to do with the government.
Well, that would be getting things done. The Democrats are not going to allow that to happen, Jack. The Democrats have been very successful. It's stalling anything getting done in an obvious way down in Washington, D.C. This fits right in with the resistance.
Well, yeah, absolutely. All they care about is regaining power. They still can't believe that they lost power. I mean, Hillary's now infamous interview of late, where she just went through a litany of excuses as to why she lost, was really tragic and pathetic more than anything else. But these Democrats can't seem to get beyond the "we want power" motif. And frankly, with the world on fire, with the radical Muslims attacking and killing people all over the place, they just don't care about what's really going on in the world. They care about kicking Donald Trump out if they somehow can figure a way to do it, which they can't, and regaining power. It's pathetic.
Well, I'm curious. You know, there's a lot of talk about the president maybe invoking executive privilege on his conversations with Comey. Do you think, if he decided to do that, do you think it would be a good strategy, or would it be a better strategy just to back off and let Comey say what he's going to say?
Well, I mean, obviously, at all times, the administration is dealing with more facts and pieces of information than any of us have. But it seems to me at this point, just let Comey get it over with already and just get onto the talk show circuit and go make his speeches and get out of Washington, or at least get out of power, which he still has by being paraded around by some of these senators. And it would seem to me, just let it get over with. Nobody really cares about this. There's nothing, it seems, that the president or anyone in the administration did that was wrong. So just let it end already and get back to the business of running the country.
You know, it's been interesting because there's speculation that what the Trump administration is going to do, well, it's not speculation, it's a fact. The Trump administration this week is basically going to ignore it and start talking about infrastructure. They're doing counter-programming, if you will, to use television terminology. Is this a wise strategy? Is this a smart thing to do? Get the country looking at something they want to get done?
Well, I mean, I think it's not counter-programming. This is the program he was elected to have. The sideshow is the Comey and all the other nonsense with the Russia collaboration and all the rest of that business. I think Putin, frankly, put it better than almost anyone. There's something wrong with people in the media over here, and people are obsessed with this stupidity. The world is on fire. President Trump is the world's best fireman, frankly, at this point. Let him go out and put the fires out. Let him go out and build the infrastructure. Let him go out and get the taxes cut, get rid of this Obamacare program. Let him go out and, as he has been, repair our relations with our allies and go after and destroy radical Islam. Why are we messing around? Why is a country, other than the fact that the mainstream media are fellow travelers with the Democrats and the other far leftists, why does anybody care about any of this stuff is beyond me.
Well, the only explanation I could give you if I were going to answer that question is it does seem that the media is complicit in terms of driving not a skeptical look at government, not holding people to power, but simply driving a Democratic agenda is what I think is going on here.
The media want Donald Trump out of office. They kind of remember their forebears who drove Richard Nixon from office with great affection, and they want to be the generation to drive Donald Trump from office. But unlike Richard Nixon and every other Republican, Donald Trump isn't leaving office so easily. And nor, by the way, has Donald Trump, it seems, done anything. Until somebody comes up with something, there's nothing to talk about. So instead, they talk about these hilarious and ridiculous scenarios, invoking the 25th Amendment and having Vice President Pence and half his cabinet declare him non-compos mentis, or having the Republican Congress impeach him. These are fantasies and stupidities. And so the Democratic Party, unfortunately, instead of getting itself in order and being a competitive political party, instead of a sideshow circus car full of clowns, continues these idiocies, and all it's going to do, by the way, at the end of it, Bill, is to redound to the benefit of the Republicans, who are likely to do far better in this midterm election coming up than anybody predicts, and certainly, it seems at this point, are going to have a reelected Donald Trump thanks to the stupidity in part of the Democratic Party, and also, by the way, thanks in large part to the fact that Trump keeps his promises, darn it, and gets things done.